We've got fresh video of a police chase out of California.
It was just after midnight, and we could hear the sirens, but we couldn't tell where they were coming from.
That's a witness who saw the entire thing go down last week in Sacramento.
I just keep hearing them stronger and stronger and stronger.
That was wild. We didn't know what was going on.
Now, when something like this happens, it's easy for your imagination to run wild. Did the cops finally track down a long-wanted scofflaw? Was the pizza guy trying to hit that 30-minute guarantee? Did a safari go wildly off course? All good possibilities of high-speed action, none of which even come close to what was actually happening here.
I'm sorry, it's just funny. A forklift. I had no idea that it was going to be a forklift.
Yeah, it's a low-speed forklift chase. So just before midnight, our industrialist here was spotted getting behind the wheel of the heavy machinery.
Another guy driving a forklift that's blacked out in the roadway.
An officer tried to pull the guy over before this whole thing turned into what even the cop realized was barely a chase.
Yeah, he's clearly not going to stop. So I guess we'll just call it a pursuit. I'm going about 10 miles an hour.
Witnesses looked on as the pursuit reached governor-restricted golf cart speeds.
It was a very slow chase. We just couldn't believe it.
And some even followed along on the police scanner, over which officers tried to estimate when this thing would run out of fuel.
What's the industry standard runtime for a full propane tank on a forklift?
Not very long.
Believe it or not, a total of 6 cop cars ended up pursuing the machine.
I was kind of shocked that they were all going to keep following like that for a forklift.
Bob the builder here ended up driving through a chain link fence before heading onto a bike path along the river.
When there's one baller, we're going to see what he's going to do about it. Can you squeeze in between it? Oh, he did.
And 2 miles from where what's technically considered a chase began, police say the forklift broke down and the whole thing ended with the guy being arrested. Those witnesses note this definitely wasn't a normal use of manufacturing equipment.
It was a surreal moment.
Police haven't said why this guy did this, but it turns out this isn't the only recent forklift-related heist that's happened in Sacramento County. In the surveillance footage from late this summer, video captures a couple of vehicles pulling up to an orange automated teller. One of the vehicles is your standard everyday pickup truck, and the other is your ordinary industrial forklift. A masked man in a reflective vest, safety first of course, pilots the forklift, swings it around, and bashes it into the ATM. The money machine falls, the pickup backs up towards it, and the ATM sparks as the forklift operator rams into it once again to lift it off the ground. For a few moments, the forklift driver tries to get the thing into the back of the truck bed, but he fails as it falls to the ground. Second time's a charm though, as he's able to hoist the machine and dump it into the truck, which then drives off as the forklifter runs away. Not counting the blunt force trauma to that poor automated teller, this heist appears to have been the perfect imperfect crime. But as the local sheriff notes,
I've been doing this job for 18 years. I really can't think of the time someone actually successfully grabbed an ATM machine and got away with it.
Now these thieves did actually seem to get away with this, until the ATM fell off the back of the truck and they left it in the middle of the road. In total, the burglars ended up stealing a grand total of no money at all out of the ATM. But the police did put a positive little spin on their attempted robbery.
But they did think of something that was rather unique and, creative. Not successful, obviously, but they did try.
Well, try as they might, the long fork of the law finally caught up with these bandits, and on Friday, police said 2 men have been arrested and charged with using the stolen forklift to put the stolen ATM in the truck, which was also stolen. Oh, and local news also reports that one of the men accused here also faces charges for stealing another forklift to steal another ATM back in 2021. Now, if you're wondering if there's any sort of comprehensive data out there on forklift thefts, because you either own a forklift or you're looking to steal one yourself, there is. According to the most annual theft report put out by Verisk, which used to be called the National Equipment Register, forklifts make up around 3% of heavy equipment thefts. Based on this chart from 2016, which accounts for 11,574 thefts, researchers and data scientists here at the News Refresh calculate 3% of 11,574 amounts to 347.22, meaning there's just about one forklift stolen each and every day in the world's oldest continuous democracy, plus a handful of parts or something to make up for that 0.22. And when it comes to recovering this stolen heavy equipment, only 21% of those 11,574 thefts were ever recovered, meaning 2,442 recoveries. And of those recoveries, only 5% of that recovered heavy equipment were forklifts. which, again, our team worked overtime to determine, works out to about 122 forklift recoveries, meaning only about 1 in 3 stolen forklifts are ever returned into the arms of their loving owners. And even though the generous holiday season is approaching, and you are maybe hoping to kick your forklift theft-related worries into the new year, I'm sorry to report that Verisk says that over the past 5 years, there's been a rise in heavy equipment thefts between the Tuesday before Thanksgiving and the Monday after. I guess that's one way to push through those Black Friday crowds.